Be your own boss and become rich. Have you thought about it? Of becoming rich, of owning your own business, and having a lot of time with your friends and family, can do whatever you want. Today, I'm gonna share with you my entrepreneurship story, my failure, and also my depression. People say that entrepreneurship is not easy, which I agree. On the stats wise, 95% startups actually fail, So this is my story. I actually started 3 different companies back in 2014, right? So it's like 6 years now along the road. The first company was started as a digital agency, and I failed pretty quickly because when people say, like, when you start a business, you actually need like 3 to 6 months in order to see the income, right? And I didn't have that enough income, for the first 6 months, and I have installments to pay, commitments, such as home, condominium, and also cars, which I need to pay every single month. And that was really hard. I was thinking, if I start up, how am I able to survive, that 6 months if I need to pay all my commitments. And one of the things that I learned back then was, okay, I'm young and I need to take a risk. That was what my mentality is, right? I need to take a risk, and I want to try out this whole experience, a journey through entrepreneurship, right? So then what I did was I took out the account to EPF, which is about, I think, close to 17 or 20,000 back then. So I took it out and I launched my little agency, and I hooked up with all my previous clients. I think one of the first supporter was Baron Ads, which is Kenny. Yo, Kenny, hey. And he was very supportive. He basically loves young talents and passionate people. And back then I was so hungry for sales. If I don't make it for the 6 months, then down. I'm gonna go get a job, right? So I launched, and there's a lot of things that I need to learn. I need to create a brand, right? I need to create a business card. When I meet clients, I need to prepare a business card. I need a website as well if it touches on digital stuff. And yeah, I was actually doing it for 2 years. I did generate some income, but it's not a lot. So it's a very painful journey along the way for these 2 years. I meet a lot of clients in the advertising field. I started a lot of services, different services, which I can provide, which I've learned along the way when I was employed back then. So at the end of the 2 years, I basically just gave up because there is late payments. So late payments by client is one thing that I think most entrepreneurs will face. If let's say you don't have a positive cash flow for a month-to-month basis, then it's going to be very hard for you to sustain the whole business, right? And there comes my second startup. I launched a tech startup. I actually partnered with a developer, and this guy has been a really good guy. He helps me out, and of course there's arrangement like how we're going to profit share based on that. And I think that's my worst startup ever because it couldn't scale at all. It was so bad, but at the same time I was still running the first startup, you see. So there is actually some income where I continued the second startup, launching it. The second startup actually just lasted like 6 to 8 months, and then we think it couldn't scale at all because we couldn't grow the whole company. We couldn't get the community in, we couldn't sell it to the clients. So it was very hard back then. Friends are like suggesting, if it won't work, if this journey won't work, So yeah, I kind of like think to myself, would it be wise if you look for a job and get hired back then? I actually got headhunted by some companies and they actually give me a very good offer, but I've decided to pursue this road, right? Family members are quite supportive towards the whole journey. Right after that moment, I actually launched my third startup, which is LazyHost.co, partnering with my younger brother, which also has some property related knowledge, right? It went really well. I'm able to like break, let's see, about $100,000 in the first year, which is really damn good, right? Yeah, so, and then we try to scale from KL to Bangkok city, you know, and also through our contacts in Bangkok, we actually went to Chiang Mai as well to secure some resorts and also hotel rooms to sell. So it was really, really good, and up until today, we are still servicing all these clients. But of course, the COVID-19 situation has brought the whole tourism industry to a stale point, and right now it's impacting. So, but I would like to say like the third startup is the most successful. We are able to see like real money. The painful thing that I felt is, yes, for example, like right now the COVID season, you are not able to get any sales leads, and it is really frustrating, especially like tourism agencies or even like co-working spaces, for example. I think right now it has been picked up, but you know, like March to June, it was really horrible time for all these operators, and everyone is like throwing price, you know, everyone's throwing price just to attract reservation, just to able to survive. So my biggest learning is, I mean we can't blame COVID-19. COVID-19 is naturally just happened, so we can't blame it. But what you can learn from this is you might not just put everything into one basket, right? So at the meantime, I also do like I pick up some skills along the way. So for example, during my third startup, I actually learned photography, right? Because we need to shoot clients' property, real estates, and I learn up on editing, you know, with Lightroom, Adobe, and right now I'm just picking up another new skill, which is right here, doing photography and talking to you guys, right? Life is a constant journey of learnings, right? So this skills that I learn right now, it might not be you might not be able to make money today, right? But it's the skills that you acquired, and these are the important skills that you might not know in the future. You might need it, alright? So I don't have plans to actually monetize the YouTube channel, but it's more on a vlog thing, where I compile my life story. You know, I want to see how I grow. How is my growth from 2020 up to 2025 or 2030. It's more like a diary for me to keep track of my life and growth. I think one more important thing of being entrepreneurship is the closing sales. The closing sales part is how you convince a client, pitch to them how you're going to close a sale. So that skill, I actually learned it from some companies back then when I was employed. So it's a very important skill. Yes, I would say it's a very important skill. With that skill, you can basically sell everything, you know, pursue people to sell anything, and driving in sales for your company. Yeah, that is one very good skill that you must have, you know, which is presentation, you know, persuading your clients for interest, and also potentially turning them in from a lead into a customer, into a paying customer, right? The amount of stress being an entrepreneur yourself, it's very, very stressful. You need to work probably, you don't have a working day, right? So basically you choose when to work. So you could be working at night for 8 to 9 hours, or you can choose like work from 10 to 15 hours. It really depends on what you're focusing on. And if you think what you're focusing is driving productivity and driving revenues to the company, then yes, there's a lot of trial and errors, right? So it's not fun. It's not fun. I remember back then, It will affect your relationship with your girlfriends or boyfriends, so it's not for everyone. And also it doesn't justify. So like for example, if I put in 10 to 15 hours a day, right, and my income is only like what, after a month it's only like 1,000 ringgit, it doesn't justify the amount of work that you put in. But of course, the revenues and the values will come later on, you know, once you have a secured base of clients, once you have built trusts with clients, and once the clients have see their own incomes growing and stuff. So yeah, it's very rewarding in that sense, but the whole process is a very painful experience. I've got depression back in I think 2 years ago. It was 2018. So it was a really bad depression period for myself. I couldn't focus anything back then, you know. So I guess it's a very common symptoms for entrepreneur. Depression actually will just kick in and you just don't feel like doing anything. You just feel like, you know, staying in at home, hiding in, you just don't want to talk to people, you don't want to go socialize. And it lasted for about 1.5 years. And there's another reason, is because of a failed relationship, right? So it lasted about 1.5 years, and during that period, yes, I'm still able to generate some income because my partner is still running the whole company, right? But it was a really, really sad time. I remember I went and meet Timothy here of a Colony co-working space, and I shared with him my depression, you know, and he told me that, you know, time will always heal. It's all in your mind. So that kind of like gave me a very good point for me to recover, right? And I was also like trying to forget, you know, trying to escape from reality, where I went to, you know, I always spend in clubs with alcohols, you know, with getting drunk, getting wasted, and just trying to escape reality. So I think that is one thing that entrepreneurs will face, but of course it doesn't happen to anyone. It really depends on your mind, like how you can take it, how you can overcome that challenges. So in everything you do, right, I just want you to like focus like how you can actually bring values to your friends, to your customers. Customers are friends too, you know, that's where you build relationships. And even if you are unemployed right now, I hope this video will actually help you out and see life through a different perspective. You know, it's not the end. You are still able to build something out of nowhere, even if you are 40 years old or 50 years old, right? So I think what is important is in the mindset. If you like this video and you love my tips and love my stories, please subscribe, guys. Really hope to see you guys on my next video.